Joining me now on the Knicks Film School Podcast, he is someone that, if you are a Knicks fan on Twitter, you have probably seen over the last, 4 days or so, but not for a reason that we would have liked, which is what we're going to get into and why he's here today. But first, let me introduce him, Nicholas Tripiccione. I hope I pronounced the last name okay. How are you doing, Nick?
Doing great.
Awesome, man. So we got to lay a little bit of backstory. So, Saturday, obviously, so we're dropping this pod on Wednesday. So it's about 4 days ago now. The Knicks beat the Raptors, for their 9th straight win. Obviously, high point for, Knicks fans this century, for me, at least. I've never felt this good. A lot of good vibes. And, unfortunately, there was a group of Knicks fans that were, I'm going to say, I feel pretty confident in saying not representative of the fan base as a whole, outside of the Garden afterwards. And they saw a young man wearing a Kyle Lowry shirt, and that young man was you. The video was about 30 seconds, but I guess, well, why don't we start with this? What actually happened outside of the Garden after the game?
Well, it was leaving the Garden, tough loss. We were walking down, literally this step outside of the Garden. It was pretty chaotic. I mean, Knicks fans are pretty excited.
Yes.
They had some pretty harsh stories going towards the Brooklyn Nets. But I guess they're just a little excited when I passed by wearing the jersey that their team just beat for their 9th straight win. So, I mean, I can understand why they're a little excited. But, luckily I was just walking to Penn Station right next door. It wasn't a long walk.
Okay. So nobody got physical with you and they're just kind of yelling and screaming and okay. Well, despite the fact that maybe it wasn't as bad as it might have looked, let me just, first of all, before we talk about anything else, on behalf of Knicks Nation, everybody who roots for this team, everybody who just wants to see the team do well and certainly doesn't want to put anyone else down in the process, except maybe the Nets occasionally. We might put down, certain Nets accounts on Twitter in particular occasionally. I'm very sorry that had to happen to you because, for one, I think it's great when fans go to other arenas and root on their team. Like I've done it. Everybody's done it. I know Andrew Claudio, producer, has done it in multiple sports. It's actually, I think fun, good natured ribbing is cool and okay. But when it gets to the level, it looked like it was on the video, that's not okay. It's the world's most famous arena for a reason. And it's supposed to be kind of hallowed ground. And I feel like, because of that, maybe your experience was a little sullied. On behalf of everybody, I'm sorry that happened. And do you accept our apology as
I forgive Knicks Nation. I forgive Knicks Nation.
Well, we appreciate it very much. And putting aside the fact that you seem like an awesome guy. So I do have a couple of questions that I wanted to dig a little deeper on. First and foremost, was that your first time at MSG? I think it was, right?
Yep.
What did you think of just the experience of going to the arena?
It was a pretty cool experience. I mean, I've heard great things about the Garden. It's a pretty historical arena.
You're in New York, obviously. Have you lived in New York your entire life?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then that leads me to my obvious next question. Please tell us how, as a New Yorker, that you became a Raptor fan. Is it as simple as the team that is in the city that I live in stinks and I need to find a different... what is it?
It happened when I was a kid. I don't know. I just had one day I was looking at a bunch of teams.
Okay.
It was on the computer.
And was Kyle Lowry already on Toronto when you decided to pick the Raptors? Okay. The
first player I've ever seen, DeMar DeRozan.
Okay, so we share something in common because I'm a big proponent of bringing DeMar DeRozan to the Knicks this summer, which everybody hates me for bringing that up, but that's an issue that I have to deal with. That's my personal grudge. So I have two quick things. One, I don't begrudge anybody who picks a different team than the one in the city that they live in, because when I was so you said it was when did you start rooting for the Raptors? When you were like what, 9-10 years old, something like that?
Yeah, like 2014, I remember.
Okay. So that was DeMar was there. They had just gotten Lowry, right?
Yeah, it was the year the Nets knocked us out of the playoffs in the first round.
Okay, so good year to start rooting for them. And obviously around that time, the Nets were not doing anything good. The Knicks had just traded for Andrea Bargnani, which I could see a reason being enough to not root for the Knicks. Yeah. But when I was young, I was growing up, and again, Andrew Claudio, who's listening in the background, will recall this era well. The quarterbacks that were heading the two football teams in this city were Dave Brown, and I believe it was Neil O'Donnell. That's Neil O'Donnell. Okay, I was about to say Neil McDonald. That's a different person. Neil O'Donnell. They were not good. The Jets were not good. The Giants were not good. And that's part of the reason why I root for the Steelers, because I loved Jerome Bettis, because he was big guy running around on the field. And I was like, I could do that, except I can't. Anyway, so you've gotten to root for the Raptors. Did you enjoy the Raptors championship a few years ago?
Yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Have you? Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Especially because, like, with a franchise like Toronto, you never think it's going to happen to your franchise, because you don't have the stacked players like Golden State had those years.
When you were heading into that finals, because if I recall correctly, they were underdogs, but it was not. Yeah, it wasn't seen as like an insurmountable feat to be able to beat the Warriors, but
a lot of analysts before like the games, their picks would always be the Warriors.
Yeah, no, I think I recall that. When was not to bring up any ill memories of any people who like Kevin Durant, but was the moment that you thought you guys had a chance when Durant went down with the injury, or was it before that?
I mean, I always thought we had a chance, but when he went down, I mean, as unfortunate as it was, I mean, it was kind of a sort of relief to see.
Listen, man,
we actually have a chance to win.
I acknowledged it before the season. Like, I would never root for an injury, but like the Knicks own the Mavs draft pick this year. If Luka Doncic were to suffer like some kind of not career threatening, not too bad, but something that would keep him out for a while, injury this season, I would not complain. So a couple more things, and then I'll get you out of here, because you've been very great with your time. You were obviously in this video, and it did kind of go viral. What was it like when you realized that this video of you was like all over the place? Was that a crazy experience?
I mean, it was pretty crazy. It's something you never think would happen to you, just going to a basketball game. But I realized like at night it started going viral. I see that it was posted. In the morning is when it just really took off. When I looked at my phone, like all my friends sent it to me. They're all Knicks fans.
were they like, that's what you get for wearing a Lowry shirt? Or they're like, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you? Or
they're all pretty happy it happened, honestly.
They were pretty. That sounds like my friends, actually. That's what my friends would have responded. Okay. Last thing. The shirt you were wearing is of Kyle Lowry. I have flip-flopped so many times this season in terms of if I could pick one player to come, like in terms of like realistic player, likely contract, player that would fit in, all of the different things. I've flip-flopped a few times, but I think at this point I'm like pretty close to saying, give me Lowry on the Knicks next year, running the point. Where do you think Kyle Lowry plays next year?
I mean, it's a tough contract he's asking for.
2 for $50 is what we've heard. So that's a lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a team a lot of cap. I can see if no one really goes after him, doesn't want to spend the money. I mean, a sign and trade with the Raptors could be very possible.
Oh, okay. So we're going to negotiate a little bit here. So sign and trade. would purely, we don't need to sign and trade. So this is purely because Lowry wants to do a solid for the organization that he has played for not his entire career, but for the relevant portion of his career. So he wants to do them a solid. So if you're the Knicks, you'll play ball, but only so much. So we'll do a sign and trade where Kevin Knox is making $6 million next year. Andrew, can I ask you to chime in for a sec? Do the Knicks want Kevin Knox at $6 million next year?
I can't imagine a world where Kevin Knox is the centerpiece of a Kyle Lowry sign and trade.
But we could just sign him using cap space.
That's why a sign and trade, the solid, I guess. Are the Knicks throwing a pick in here too?
No, we can't. Come on. Well,
but that's what I'm saying. We can just sign him in free agency.
But again, Kyle Lowry has other suitors. He wants the team that he is going to do his former team a favor, a solid.
Nick, you any interest in a Kevin Knox or a Frank Ntilikina in your life?
Well, listen, let's not get crazy. Kevin Knox. So here's the offer. It's Kevin Knox, and I think we have Utah's 2024 second round pick. Is that a good sign and trade for you?
I mean, Kevin Knox. He needs some more minutes before I can make that decision.
Well, but here's the thing: he may get some minutes under Nick Nurse.
He has talent. He's a nice young player. But,
okay.
I feel like we get more out of Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see.
There's some trades at the deadline with Miami.
Let me ask you this: is there any place that you don't want to see Kyle Lowry play next? Like, I know for certain favorite players I've had over the years, I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to see this player play for what
Probably the 76ers.
You didn't want to see him go to the Sixers, really? Even if you would have gotten,
if we get Maltese Thibault.
You wanted Thibault?
Yeah.
Not Tyrese Maxey. Didn't want Tyrese Maxey. Okay. I would have wanted Maxey. I like Maxey. I think Maxey's going to be good. But then again, I was looking at his, because I'm, again, a crazy person. I was looking at his game log the other day, and he had the 130-something point game, and then his next best game is in the teens. So, we'll see what he is. Anyway, this has been great. I hope this was, I don't know, therapeutic, cathartic, something. Anything else you want to say to Knicks fans everywhere before we get you out of here?
Well, good luck on the season. It's gonna be fun when playoffs come. See how the Knicks do.
This is a classy and I forgot the most important thing. Do you want the Raptors to make the play-in and kick the tires on maybe getting into the playoffs, or are you give me my 20% chance at a top 4 pick? I
mean, I think they can make a good push. The attitudes on the team, they're competitive guys.
They are.
They know how to compete come playoff time. So I think we can see more competitiveness out of them. I don't think it would happen now unless we fell into the play-in tournament. But I have no interest in seeing the Raptors again. You guys kicked the shit out of us for 9 straight games.